Good morning. I'm delighted to be here today to be talking about artificial intelligence and the city of the future. So many predictions have turned out to be wrong, but there's one that might happen to be true faster than any one of us thinks, and one that might have the greatest impact on our planet since the beginning of mankind. It is the advent of artificial general intelligence. The singularity, that tipping point, moment in time when machines become so more powerful than humans, and AI and technologies have become so advanced, that singularity moment may very well happen during this century. Some of us may not see it, but our children will for sure. And when that singularity happens, there is a risk for a potential existential catastrophe. When the machine becomes smarter and faster than human beings, they can become out of control. So there is a need for countermeasures to begin. The AI researchers have divided control methods into two categories. Capability methods that aim to control what the superintelligence can do, and motivation selection methods that aim to control what it wants to do. But some others believe that there is a third way to control AI, which is to spread AI among so many people and so many things that the forces of goods will overcome the ones of evil. And that's where specific applications of AI start. One of them is transportation. And transportation is the first large-scale application of artificial intelligence, and one that is engineered to save lives. That is why it is so important to foster an environment where transportation and autonomous vehicles will succeed in the United States. UDelv is one of the trailblazers of this benevolent AI. It also turns out to be a gigantic challenge at the scale of the world's economy. There's a recent study from Intel Corporation that predicts that autonomous vehicles will create a $7 trillion economy within the next 15 years. But within transportation, autonomous vehicles the test case for autonomous vehicles will likely be delivery. Why? Because if you look at the history of transportation over the past 300 years, every single new mode of transportation started with freight, carrying freight. Automobiles, elevators, planes, trains, rockets. The new Hyperloop is also probably going to carry freight before it carries people. And there's one good reason is that when you carry freight, it's safer than when you carry people. It also turns out to be an exponentially growing market and an industry that is ripe for disruption. With 6 million last-mile delivery vehicles on US roads already and already a shortage of drivers, how does the exponentially growing e-commerce going to create a bottleneck in the future? And that bottleneck is going to be solved with autonomous vehicles. So without further ado, let me introduce to you the world's first self-driving delivery vehicle that was created in Silicon Valley. Please go.
Just a few years ago, this all would have sounded like total science fiction, but it's here right now, right here in Silicon Valley, like autonomous delivery. So it's a really exciting time. what I saw with the vehicles today really shows that the timeline for delivery, I think, is much quicker than the timeline for autonomous vehicles overall. I mean, there's a bit of a customer hesitancy to jump into a self-driving vehicle right now, and I think that's going to delay the time horizon for that to be accepted and adopted. But the delivery piece, much lower barrier to entry for customers, and I think they're going to start expecting it really soon. I'm sure you get to see how the sides of the vehicle open up, and that's really an element of surprise. It's an element of anticipation.
A quick look behind the screens here. An autonomous vehicle made for delivery is not just an autonomous vehicle, it's really a computer on wheels. And what UDEV has created is a full end-to-end solution to enable this technology to happen. It means that we had to create a technology that enables us to wake up the computer at dawn where the vehicle is parked, and then move the vehicle from its parking location to a merchant location where he or she will be loading the vehicle and then sending it off on a route to the customers, create that route to the customers, deliver it to the customers, then come back to the merchant and do that again and again and again, and then go park at night. So this has been this is a very, very complex technology that goes well beyond just the autonomous driving. And a closer look at it reveals one of the biggest, most advanced technologies in the world with several firsts. It's the first AI for delivery with 107 layers of neural nets to enable the vehicle to understand its environment, be able to park, be able to maneuver in parking lots, be able to drive, to understand what a driveway looks like, or to back up in the back of a Safeway store. It's assisted by remote control operations with 200 millisecond latency where we can take control of the vehicle at any moment in time if something happens. It's the very first smart cargo space that is custom made for automated deliveries with flexible shelving space. And we also created a series of apps for merchants and customers to operate the cargo doors and control the machine from the phone. The benefits of this are massive. It levels the playing field for all merchants and retailers around the US with a system that at scale might be 3 times more cost efficient than current manned services. And retailers and shippers have already started to recognize that over the past 5 months since we launched the product, we've completed now more than 1,000 deliveries in the San Francisco Bay Area on behalf of a dozen merchants. The San Francisco Bay Area and several other cities around the US have started to recognize the benefits to them of this technology, starting with better traffic, better landscape management, making people's lives easier, as well as creating jobs of better quality and better pay. But they also have a role to play, the cities also have a role to play in this technology by keeping up good roads, create good lane markings, parking spots for those autonomous vehicles, keeping up roads in good conditions, and creating a traffic management system that will enable autonomous vehicles to succeed. When does that happen? Well, it is happening now. This is not science fiction. By 2020, several major metropolitan areas in the United States will see services from delivery to ride sharing that will make use of autonomous vehicles. It will happen in 3 phases, at least as far as delivery is concerned, which is the first phase is the customer experience phase, getting the customers to be used to an automated cargo space. And the mapping phase, we have to create a full HD map or 3D map of the environments. Second phase is road time machine learning. And the third phase leads to the safe removal of the safety driver. The US is one of the best places in the world to foster that technology because of its easy-to-navigate road system and its good driving conditions. And also because of a legislation that is one of the most advanced in the world. In fact, 36 states in the United States have already enacted legislation that allows for the use of autonomous vehicles. And this is one of the most advanced in the world. It's the first time in the world history where the legislature is actually ahead of the technology. So there is a good chance that the US will be mastering this AI technology for the good of humanity. And so UDelv is thrilled to be part of that revolution and perhaps make it the last ever invention that the man need ever make. Let's roll together. Thank you very much.